Chefs, what is the beef? Cam here. Welcome to another video at the old desktop today instead of a laptop, which is an interesting one. It's also pissing rain outside in Melbourne, so the soaking wet hoodie coming off, and now we're gonna get the old hands washed. Not literally, no need to wash hands, joking. And then we're in. So the biggest obstacle holding young chefs back from achieving their ultimate career goals. And what we're going to do while I'm going through this topic, chefs, while I'm answering, this one specific thing, what I want to start doing in the live videos as well is opening up for Q&A. As you know, like a lot of chefs watch these videos, there's things that you might be wondering, things that you maybe are unsure about in your own health and fitness. Maybe it's queries about ChefFit or things about the industry, whatever. If you have any questions, you can pop them in the comments below. Hopefully I can see them, and then I'll answer them towards the end. But anyway, diving into today's video, obviously if you're watching this in a replay somewhere, you're not going to be able to get questions answered. But again, bear in mind, you can come on to another live video soon. So the biggest obstacle that holds young chefs back from achieving what they want to achieve within their career. Let's start off with this. What is a young chef? Well, a young chef for me, what I would consider mid-20s to early 30s, early to mid-30s. Generally within the career as well, you don't have kids yet. You're usually single or in a relationship. And that's not to say that you can't have kids, obviously, but again, you could be in a position where, you're single, young guy or young girl in your career, you're ambitious and you have your eyes set on the future of what you'd like to achieve within your career. And for a lot of young chefs and chefs in general, the big thing about setting your goal as something is usually to get freedom of some kind. Now, whether that be creative freedom, whether that be freedom of time, or whether that be financial freedom. So for some chefs, it's like creative freedom. They want to be running their own place. They want to have their own team, or they want to be able to cook at the highest level possible and aspire to get to that stage. For some chefs, it's literally getting to a point where you can share and lead other chefs, maybe through teaching, cookery schools, things like that. And that would also give you more freedom of time. Even if you owned your own place, you could pick your own hours. That's theoretically what they say. Usually you end up fucking working double time. But again, if you were teaching, lecturing, doing things like that, you would have more time. And ultimately, if you open your own place, you are obviously increasing your potential to make money. So for a lot of chefs, the desire to get out of the rat race of the fucking 70, 80, 90-hour weeks where you're just burning yourself to a crisp, a lot of chefs understand that they're trying to get to a point where they don't have to do that forever, and there's a different reality, there's a different life that they can have, and that usually becomes the career goal for a lot of you. Now, if you think about that being your ultimate goal, what's the biggest obstacle from getting there? Well, a lot of the same chefs, and I've been doing a huge amount of research, me and Ella have been researching this and going back over, every couple of months we'll go back over ChefFit's message, you know what I mean, and really try and understand, and without making assumptions. Obviously, I've been in the industry and I fucking know what it's like. My brother is cooking at a Michelin star level. I know what he went through. I know my other brother who owns a catering company, what he went through. We all went through the same pain. So I understand what that life is very much like. But every couple of months, it's good to go back to our foundations and refresh. And we have been doing that in the past couple of weeks. And having conversations with chefs again, and not in a joint ChefFit or a consult way, just literally, like, what is the big problem that you're experiencing right now? And across the board, the biggest thing that we noticed when we looked at what chefs were going through was this. A lot of young chefs who haven't really achieved what they want to in their career, they've made progress, but they haven't achieved what they want to. Usually they're depressed as a result of having low self-esteem. Depressed as a result of having low self-esteem. Now, that depression, like think about being in a dark headspace where maybe you're isolating yourself socially on days off, you feel like you don't have time. You find yourself being overwhelmingly negative about things within your life, and you're not really doing the things that you want to be doing. That's what I mean by being in a depressed headspace. We've all been through and maybe had bouts of that. Now, the stemming of the problem is coming from this. For a lot of these chefs, because you fall into a chef life, right? That classic lifestyle where, coming into work and it's fucking all go, and there's no time to eat properly, so you end up picking at something that's convenient. You're relying on coffee and energy drinks to sustain your energy levels throughout the day. You're also at a stage where the stress and the pressure is just there. It's constant. And even outside of work, you mount that on yourself. because you can't switch off. That's a very, very common place to be for a lot of chefs. You fall into that trap of using vices to wind down after work, drinking consistently, doing drugs when you can, eating shitty foods, convenience foods, coming home, having a takeaway because you're fucking starving, and that's when the adrenaline wears off. Like, that's the trap you find yourself in. And when you have a lifestyle like that, obviously things like good nutrition, solid sleep patterns, and exercise go out the fucking window. And when they go out the window, chef, you end up falling into this cycle over and over and over again, week in, week out. Fast forward a couple of years of that, and then you're looking in the mirror and you're going, what the fuck just happened to me? You know, whether that be buying bigger clothes, bigger shirts because you're self-conscious going out in public, you're sweating more, you're out of breath going up and down the stairs. Again, your body doesn't perform well, so your energy levels are so low. So yeah, sure, you have the caffeine in work, but outside of work, you are kaput, exhausted. And you end up spending days off really doing nothing and not really having any kind of life. And that's what kills your work-life balance. You know, that's what kills your work-life balance. And ultimately, this trap and this pattern that you find yourself in of falling into negative habits with food, drink, drugs, not having any time, not making time for yourself, and never prioritizing yourself because you're always prioritizing work. Ultimately, by prioritizing work and never yourself, you actually stifle your ability to make that change. You stifle your ability to achieve the goal that you're talking about. So think about it, when you're in a depressed headspace and you've got no confidence in yourself, what ends up happening is that leaks into how you lead people in the kitchen. That leaks into how you think about where you're going within your career. Are you really going to push your levels of creativity? Are you really going to push yourself to learn as much as possible? Are you really going to push yourself to save up and put money aside so in 5 years you have the money to fucking put down on a deposit or to go against a bank loan to open up your own place? Like, your ability to do that is very much dampened when you're in a dark space mentally and you're not happy with where you are physically. And for a lot of chefs, it's the lifestyle that stops you getting to where you want to go. And then ultimately, if you stay in that trap, if you stay in that fucking space where it's like, oh man, I just feel absolutely shit all the time, don't want to know about it, stuck in my comfort zone, you know, and you might try going to the gym, you might try a diet, you never end up getting to sustain it, whether that be given into the instant gratification of, I didn't see results after fucking 1 or 2 weeks, so I just said, fuck it, and going back to square one, going into the gym and feeling self-conscious the same way you might be walking around. You get very burnt out living your life like that. Like, you think about it, you get very fed up, you get very angry, you get very frustrated. I was very frustrated at one period in time, and it felt like I was lost, like back to the wall, didn't really know where I was going with my life, you know, because things had gotten so bad and I'd been in such a dark headspace and anxiety was creeping up on a day-to-day basis that it wasn't me anymore. It wasn't the person, and I'd actually forgotten what my purpose was. And for so many chefs, that's what happens as well. You forget what your purpose is, you know, waking up and you're just kind of going into work and going through the motions instead of really pushing yourself to get ahead so you can progress up the ranks and then eventually make enough money where you can potentially get to your own space. Like, that's a really, 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 really important thing for you to understand. So if you can stay stuck in the trap of you have these goals, but the obstacle to getting to the goal is depression and having low self-esteem and low confidence in yourself, and that stems from having a really, really negative lifestyle, eventually you keep living that lifestyle, you're going to get burnt out, and you're actually going to probably say to yourself, fuck it, do I even need to be cooking? I'll just go and find something easier. And the reality is, chef, like, you'll say to yourself, oh, it's fucking too late for me to kind of do something like that. And to be honest, a lot of the time it is. You know what I mean? I would always encourage you to not give up on the thing that you're passionate about, to pursue it relentlessly. And, you know, for a lot of chefs, the industry doesn't take care of you the way that it should. Employers don't take care of you the way that they should. They don't hear your struggles. They don't hear what you're going through. They don't have things in place for you to fucking take care of yourself. So therefore, the responsibility falls back on you. And that's, you know, that's a weight to bear. But again, it means the power's in your hands. And when you understand that, chef, it means that if you change your lifestyle by taking consistent action with the right path, what's going to end up happening is you can turn around this shitty lifestyle. Then you can clear your mind, get yourself to a point where you're confident in yourself. Then you got to ask, what effect does that have on my ability to achieve my ultimate career goal? Well, it makes it a much easier process to go through. You know, that's very important. So if you can fix the lifestyle, the chef life, then you can get rid of the levels of depression that you're going through, and you can increase your self-confidence. That is going to boost your ability to go and achieve that goal. All right. So that's what we have today. If anyone has any questions, I will be answering them in the next 2 minutes. So please pop them in the comments below if you have them. If not, that's cool. For any young chefs who just watched and listened to what I've said, okay, and you're going through exactly what I've just told you. Maybe you're looking at Chefit and you've watched the videos and you get it, and it's like, okay, cool, this guy understands what I'm going through, which we do, you know what I mean? And you're thinking to yourself, will it work for me? Will it not work for me? I'm a bit sketchy about it. Fuck, you know, I don't want to commit that much to it because I'm unsure of what it's about. Listen, that's absolutely fine. What you could do is we're running a 30-day trial for the rest of this week. Jump in, apply for that. There's a free consult at the end of that application. You can jump on with me or one of our coaches. We'll have a conversation with you for 45 minutes. The idea is to get you clear on where the problems are coming from, set goals in the future for where you want to go, and then obviously customize the Chefit path to what you actually need. At the end of that, chef, you will have a choice. If you want to join us, you can join us. If not, that's absolutely fine. You still walk away with your goals, with your battle plan in mind, and that clarity in mind that you got from us going through the first step of the Chefit path. So if you want to do that, obviously click the link. If you don't, that's fine. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give us a thumbs up and support whatever way you can. And understand that the biggest obstacle that you have right now, chef, is usually how you're living your life and your chef lifestyle. If we could start putting things in place to change that, think about how that impacts your ability to get your goal achieved. Think about that. That's food for thought today. I hope you enjoyed it. See you in the next one. Stay safe.